Hello, everybody. Nice to see you that you have made it to the second day. Yeah, it's not the case with everybody. Also, our moderator unfortunately got ill in the evening yesterday, but we we hope that we manage without her. I'm pretty sure we will.
We sit in silence. Yeah, sometimes.
So, I'm Marek. I'm coming from Estonia. I'm a startup guy. I hope I'm over the death valley that we're in the next phase of acceleration and building the business outside of my home country, Estonia. Yesterday, some people asked me about Estonia and how's the ecosystem and how's many people know that Skype and TransferWise and many great companies have come from Estonia, and I thought that maybe it would be interesting for you to have a little overview of where we stand at the moment regarding the startup space, and also we have a famous thing as e-residency, that everybody can become e-residents of Estonia. So I thought that maybe I shortly start with these subjects. Yeah, and there's a short. Video of e-residency in Estonia. Yeah. Volume, please.
Of its people. That's the story of Estonia. It was 1991, the Soviet Union had collapsed, and Estonia had just regained its independence. But with few resources and a small population, the country had to find a way forward. With the internet beginning to boom, leaders decided to invest in and build an e-society. The first project was Tiger Leap, which put computers and the internet in every school and got Estonians online fast. By the late 90s, all Estonian schools were online. In 2000, Estonia became the first country in the world to declare internet access as a basic human right. And today, Estonians are connected online through a mobile ID.
Using that ID card, we can do everything. We can move online in electric. We can declare our taxes. We can register businesses. We can do e-school, e-police, e-cabinet, you name it. And everybody is very used to that.
All of this personal data is protected by technology called blockchain, a decentralized network with countless channels that make it exceedingly difficult to hack. And as a backup, Estonia will create the world's first data embassy in Luxembourg, a storage facility to house an entire backup of Estonia's data capable of rebooting the country in case of a cyber attack. The result is a country that runs like a tech startup. Estonia teaches first graders how to code. It has the world's fastest broadband and holds the records for most startups per person. In 2003, a group of Estonian friends developed the software for Skype, the video calling app. It was sold to Microsoft in 2011 for $8.5 billion, but instead of cashing out, the ex-Skypers reinvested in Estonia. They launched new startups and founded a venture capital fund with their wealth. Creating the future is Estonia's driving project, and increasingly its core business too. With the introduction of e-residence, Estonia is hoping to invite entrepreneurs to invest in the country.
So each person globally can apply and get this e-residence card the same way Estonians have been using that for 17 years. Using that card, e-resident established company, established bank account, open different PayPal and other solutions, and then you can remotely manage and administrate the company fully online.
So far, just 18,000 people have signed up, but some believe that with 10 million e-residents paying $100 a month each, Estonia would not even need to tax its citizens. It's certainly an ambitious goal. Only a place that started over from scratch could imagine reinventing the whole idea of a country as a place where people could feel at home as much online as where they actually live. We'll see if the rest of the world takes a page from their book.
Okay, that was a short introductory video of Estonia. Maybe some more facts to add to this video is that it takes actually 15 minutes to start a company, and also that we are number 1 in OECD tax competitiveness rating. Then regarding e-residents, it's slightly more than 21,000 e-residents at the moment, and it's growing much faster than it used to be, from 138 countries. and more than 3,000 companies have already been opened by e-residents. Why should people become e-residents and have a startup in Estonia or a company in Estonia? My main point is that there is no income tax for companies unless they don't pay out dividends. So unless you reinvest, it's really a good system to grow the business. And it's really convenient to use all kind of services online, even from Dubai. Yeah. But that's about Estonia, and maybe now I continue with what I do and who I am. So I said I'm a startup guy. I haven't been all the time startup guy. I've been in the real estate business for the last 15 years. I was developing with my partner properties in Estonia and Baltics and Eastern Europe before crisis. So I got pretty hit in 2007-8, the financial crisis, as probably most of the real estate developers also here, and not maybe the big ones, but the global crisis hit everybody. So it actually was a great lesson for me and a reason to reinvent myself, I was able to buy back most of the assets from banks with the help of private investors, and that was one strong argument and reason how Estate Guru model was born. So Estate Guru model, what do we do? Yeah, so we're building the marketplace for property-backed business loans. Whether they are development loans, bridging loans, or just business loans backed by property, and they're usually quite short term. The average term is around 16 months, and when we issue the loan and the often returned loans, it's around 8-9 months. And being in property and business for a long time, I very often see in situations when banks are really slow and maybe too bureaucratic. Usually they ask you maybe like tons of documents. You have to tick hundreds of boxes that you applicable, and it takes 2-3 months to get the loan, whether it's some paper missing or just your analytic is in vacation or some other case. Yeah. So. And then in these cases, I've used private investors when I have to have the finance deal really quickly. And these private investors usually more expensive, but they're more flexible. And I see the situation actually in every country. They maybe different situations. The products might be a little bit different, but there is always a need for a quick and flexible finance. And so that's the reason, that's a practical reason why the idea of Estate Guru was born. And so the model of Estate Guru is that we have a marketplace where we connect investors and borrowers, and we take always the security or hypothec or mortgage from the borrower that is held by our trustee or security agent in every country. We use top law offices to help us. And we take our fee from borrowers, and from investors currently don't pay any fees. We now see the more demand from the borrower side, so we now have started to talk also with institutional investors and family offices, and we have different credit line products and bond structures for the institutional investors, and there is also additional interest spread for Estate Guru, working with more complex situations, and yeah, so that's our revenue model. So I already mentioned why borrowers are turning to us, but the main thing is that we usually five times faster than banks are, and maybe 50% cheaper than hard money lenders, and and alternative financing providers. So we kind of find this our niche in this segment. The team behind the platform, we are all real estate professionals and they're evaluators, and also our tech team is experienced in building fintech and peer-to-peer lending platforms. So why investors come to us? There are now about 10,000 investors from 45 countries, and I've also experienced some periods where I have had maybe some money to invest, not to my projects, but I would like to have passively invested it somewhere, and the return of what I've always expected is somewhere around 10%, and that I don't have to hassle so much, and it's secured. So what the investors can do, they can build diversified and secured portfolios. So basically, they just a typical investor invests in 10 or 20 or 30 projects and diversifies their investments so that if some of the loans is delayed, it doesn't affect the whole performance so much. And we have also auto invest tool where investor can set the criteria, what they like, what percentage, what territory, geography, what loan to value, and the different criteria. And we hope to we see a lot of future in this auto invest tool, that it could become a future wealth management app out of our main product. Some slides of diversification of our current loan portfolio. Most of the loans are bridging loans. Then there are also development loans, business loans, sale advance loans. It's the loan where property owners take the financing till they sell the asset. Just a sample deal that we're gonna enter next week. Hopefully we get our paperwork finalized. We're gonna enter Finnish market. We have a project in Helsinki. Just as one typical example, it's up to 12 months loan. An Estonian company is bought the printing house in Helsinki, expanding outside of Estonia. They need a bridging loan. Once they get their bankable in Finland in 6 to 12 months, and they're ready to pay 12% interest rate. And the exit scenario is they're gonna refinance it through the Finnish bank. Yeah? So some milestones, what we have achieved. We entered the market after about a year of preparations. In the end of 2014, we have nearly 10,000 investors. We have facilitated 42 million, and we're growing 2 or 3 times a year currently. And we have already refunded more than 100 loans, 60 million. Currently, there's 0 loss of capital. Currently, there is out of 260 loans, there is our first default. Hopefully, we get the money back before the selling asset or by selling the asset. And the historical return has been 12.5% annually last 3 years. So we have outperformed the market quite a lot. And the average loan to value is 58.8%. So and when the average loan term is 8 months, so it means that the market should really crash a lot and people are starting to lose money. So currently in the 3 countries, we are Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. As I said, there's a first loan in Helsinki, in Finland next week, but we also plan to open our office in London, Dublin, and this year, and also we have a legals completed in Spain and Italy. Yeah, we have fine-tuned our business processes and expansion strategies. So we hope to be really efficient when opening new markets. Team is now more than 20 people, and and we from different backgrounds, but mostly real estate and banking, and we are always partnering with the top law firms and real estate advisors when entering new markets. So if you want to join our platform, we currently accept investors who have bank accounts in Europe, but if you're looking for to invest in a bigger amounts, then we have bond structures, and we can discuss and find a way that you can follow us in different channels. Okay, so that's about the company they asked me, and I hope it wasn't too much marketing pitch, but you learned also something about it, and maybe you would have some ideas how to develop your business or cooperate, and hopefully we have interesting panel ahead, and that's all from my side. If you have any questions for now already, so I'm ready to answer.